Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and yeah, I couldn't keep away. I mean, this is it. He's the number one trending story in the country, if not the world. It's Jeffrey Epstein. It's Jeffrey Epstein. What does this say? Well, it's going to say a lot. Now, when I came into this video, and we're going to go over all the latest developments, including Ben Sasse, who, if you watched my earlier video, the video just before this one, with Barr being grilled as he recuses himself, it is by Ben Sasse, and Ben Sasse talks about this. Now, there are inmates coming forward saying there's no way that he killed himself. There's the other side of the story. We are getting blitzed. Okay, blitzed with information, and on top of that, the mainstream media is now saying that, conspiracy theories are everywhere about this case, and honestly, rightfully so. That's right, Jeffrey Epstein just made about 100 million people in this country conspiracy theorists, if not more, because a lot of people, if not everybody, is questioning this. And now, before I get into all the latest news, I want to explain something right now. This shows you, me, and the rest of the world, and excuse me for a second because I'm going to put the warning on this. I'm going to be cursing a lot in the next 5 minutes. So if that's not your bag, if that's not your cup of tea, if you don't like when I go off, this one's from the heart, and I'm sorry. We're going to be telling it like it is with some coarse language. So this is my disclaimer. This shows everybody with half a brain how fucked up we are as a country. This is American justice. This is it. We failed as a system of checks and balances. And that's not to say our Constitution failed or the constitutional republic or what they like to call democracy, because we don't really have democracy. We have democratic elections and parts of government that are part of constitutional republic, but that's a whole nother side. But it failed today. It failed so fucking big time that it's hard for me not to sit here and flip the fuck out. There was no reason for this to happen. We had him. We had him for the whole world to see. The public saw it. We got him. Different crimes, different place, different jail. You could say there was failure on his first suicide attempt. But to allow this man to be killed in the most high-profile court case of our entire generation, of my lifetime, and that includes Iran-Contra, and a lot more came out during Iran-Contra, but we're finding out more and more every day this is the same fucking network of fucking monsters. All right? And that's why when people talk about a quote-unquote deep state, I refer to Peter Dale Scott, and I refer to how he talked about deep politics, deep events, the people behind the scenes that are pulling the strings. And this is it, man. This was it, and we fucking failed. We failed so fucking big. And that's not to say it's you or me, but as a general public that's let this go on for decade upon decade unchecked and allows these puppets and the media to sit up there and placate to you with bullshit and now feed you right and left conspiracies? Let me tell you something. This ain't a right or left issue. 100% not. 100% not. So now, what we're going to do really quick is we're going to go through the latest news now that it's the number one trend in this country and the world, and that's Epstein's death. Because nobody believes it, but it shows everyone what American justice is. As soon as one big fish goes down, and how big are they, and he threatens the network of other bigger fish, bigger names, less than 24 hours after new names are all over the media, he's no longer with us, is he? So let's go over some of this stuff right now. 4 key questions must be answered after Epstein's death, says Ben Sasse. Now remember, Ben Sasse, if you watch my previous video, here he is talking to Barr, and this is where Barr recuses himself from the initial reopening of the Epstein case way before the arrest, and which is separate from the arrest, by the Department of Justice on behalf of the Crimes Victims' Rights Act that was so obviously violated. Okay? So now Ben Sasse has come out and said this. After news that the financier and convicted sex criminal Jeffrey Epstein was found dead on Saturday, Senator Ben Sasse sent a scathing letter to Attorney General Bill Barr insisting that heads must roll and asking 4 important questions about Epstein's death. Epstein had been arrested on sex trafficking and conspiracy charges in July, charges that implicated unnamed co-conspirators, some of whom were named in documents released Friday night, a couple of whom, Ronaldo Rizzo, Tony Figueroa. We've gone through those documents. We were some of the first, if not the first, on the internet to read and show you some of these releases. So make sure that you're subscribed, you're sharing this stuff, you're going back through. We're going to go back to this article in just a second. But yes, if you want to see that document that names some of these co-conspirators, here it is right here, Epstein Unsealed, the first look. And for 25 minutes, we read and showed you some very disturbing things in those documents. So let's get back to this. Okay? Epstein had been arrested on sex trafficking and conspiracy charges in July. Charges that implicated unnamed co-conspirators, some of whom were named in documents released Friday night. Epstein pled guilty to sex crimes involving minors and recent charges involving girls as young as 14. Yes, those are the recent charges. He didn't plead guilty to those. I want to make that very, very clear. Okay? So let's get into this. The Department of Justice failed, and today Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirators think they might have just gotten one last sweetheart deal, Sasse wrote bitterly. Damn straight they do! And there's a lot of these co-conspirators. A lot of people. They just named former Governor Bill Richardson, Bohemian Grove member and keynote speaker Bill Richardson, former 2008 presidential candidate Bill Richardson. Every single person in the Justice Department, from your main Justice Headquarters staff all the way to the night shift jailer, knew that this man was a suicide risk and that his dark secrets couldn't be allowed to die with him. Given Epstein's previous attempted suicide, he should have been locked in a padded room under unbroken 24/7 constant surveillance. Damn fucking right. And he should have had a body cam on him. On him, not even just around him. He should have had to wear a camera. Obviously, heads must roll. Sasse addressed Barr personally during the nomination process. Again, we went over that. Okay? It's just unfucking believable. Unbelievable. All right? It should have been abundantly clear that Epstein would go to any lengths to avoid being held accountable for his crimes, including by killing himself. Being responsible for Epstein's custody and prosecution, the Department of Justice should not have allowed this to happen. His death not only deprives the victims of the opportunity to confront him in court and see him held accountable for his crimes, but also makes it harder to unravel the ring and to hold accountable the many other powerful men who raped and exploited these children. May not agree with Ben Sasse on everything, but you can't help but agree with Ben Sasse on that one. So now the conspiracy theories are here. And like I said, this case just made 100 million plus conspiracy theorists, domestic terrorists, according to the FBI. Can't question this event, huh, FBI? I guess the whole country are now domestic terror threats because we don't necessarily believe the Jeffrey Epstein narrative that we've been fed, huh? Many theories have ventured into the realm of outlandish conjecture amplified by conservative commentators and President Donald Trump himself. So now it's Trump's fault. And it's conservatives that are being censored. Guys, search my name on YouTube. You know what? let's just do can we do an incognito search right now? Let me just explain how this works. Okay? I'm not signed in. Let's go to youtube.com, right? Right? No sign in here. Let's type in my name. I think we've established I'm not a conservative, right? Jason Burmis. Hey, at least we're live now. That's nice that came up and my channel comes up. Now let's go under healthy junk food. 5 years ago, I did a video with a very successful channel and friends of mine. Oh, this is 9 years ago on RT America. Guys, I put out 3 to fucking 7 videos a day. And a video I did 9 years ago or 5 years ago is the top. Luckily, because Epstein's trending, I get another video here. Otherwise, it's RT America again. A second RT America video. Luckily, Tinfoil Podcast came up. I did that show over a month ago. And again, Epstein's trending, so I'm in there. But are you getting my point here? You know, come on, man. Those are the top things. Why aren't the big ones in there? And we're still growing. So it's not a conservative bias. It drives me nuts. The world of social media already awash in conspiracy thinking in the Trump era. Ooh, it's Donald Trump's fault. Erupted with new theories Saturday after the news broke that Jeffrey Epstein had died by suicide under mysterious circumstances in his jail cell. Well, he fucking did. Anyone with common sense is going to tell you that. And I'm sorry that I'm off the handle on this one, guys, but this is uncensored, unfettered Burmis. I'm pissed. I mean, shit is hitting the fan now. And we need to make sure that Ghislaine Maxwell and the others, they are fucking fully held accountable. And we unravel this network. We're so close. All right? Our system has failed us. It's a failure. It's what I told you in the beginning. You don't have to fail the system. You don't have to fail humanity. It's beyond any system of written down rules or political ideology of being a liberal or a conservative or a Democrat or a fucking Republican. Way beyond that. What do you stand for? One of the prime movers was Donald Trump, who retweeted a post by conservative comedian Terrence K. Williams. And if you saw the Terrence K. Williams thing, it was all Clinton body count, Clinton. Let me assure you, yes, there were Clinton connections, but there were also Trump connections. And we've ad nauseum been honest about both those connections. By the way, when the documents were released yesterday and we saw them unsealed, neither Clinton or Trump were implicated in sex with underage girls. I did a video about that, did a little walk and talk. Largely ignored by the mainstream media. But so was Bill Richards. They tried to run with an Al Gore story, even though he wasn't implicated in any sex. Again, the mainstream media really downplayed a lot of the bigger things in those documents. And that's why I'm hoping that you're subscribed, you're thumbing this up, you're sharing it with everybody, you're putting this stuff on Reddit, and you understand that I'm coming at it from the heart and the truth, okay? I see the Trump body count trending, but we all know who did this, wrote Williams, who is a headliner on the Deplorables comedy tour, which promises to unleash the conservative mindset, transcending politics and unabashedly mocking liberals. RT, if you're not surprised. No GPS data's hit me with a super chat. We appreciate that. We read them all. Smash the like. Jason put his sanity on the line for this. Are you entertained? Listen, I'm very sane. I'm not having a breakdown here. I don't really go this emotional all the time, but today's the day to get emotional, right? Today's the day to really let it hang out, especially after all the other reporting we've done that I think has been pretty based and level-headed and informative. This is all information, but I mean, again, number one trend in the world. It's coming at you. Oh, and the president did, giving a boost to one of the many theories that ventured into the realm of outlandish conjecture and amplified by other conservative commentators and at least 2 other Republican officials. Many people who have spent the last few years blaming the nation's problems on either the Clinton or the Trump administrations found new reasons to pin Epstein's death on their favorite targets, despite a complete lack of evidence at this point explaining how Epstein was able to kill himself. It's very true. It's very true, okay? So, I mean, I haven't jumped into this, but boy, they can't stop reporting on it. So this is a former MCC inmate. We're reporting on all this stuff as it's coming out. There's no way Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. Remember, in an earlier report, the Washington Post was saying that he said he was attacked and that people tried to kill him. Astro Ray says, hey, Jason, you're on fire. Do you think Trump was funded by the mafia families? Thanks. Go crypto. I don't know how funded he was, but do you think he worked with the mafia when he put together Atlantic City, a gambling city, a casino city? No, organized crime's never been involved in casinos. And you know what organized crime's never been involved in? Construction work, huh? And this guy was a real estate developer. What do you I don't know. And Roy Cohn was one of his mentors? Roy Cohn, the mafia lawyer? No way, Astro. You're getting kooky. Facts are facts. Everybody read that Whitney Webb series I've been talking about. In fact, before we get there, again, spend the 3+ hours. Start with this one, get into this one, and go over here. And if you want a shorter video synopsis of that and much more, make sure to go check out the Epstein Mega Connections with Whitney Webb. It's a must-read. It's a must-watch. Get on it. So here we go. All right. The following account is from a former inmate of the Metropolitan Correlation Center in Lower Manhattan, where Jeffrey Epstein was found unresponsive Saturday and declared dead at the hospital of an apparent suicide. The ex-convict, who spoke to the Post, Brad Hamilton, on the condition of anonymity, spent 4 months in the 9 South Special Housing Unit for high-profile prisoners awaiting trial. So this guy's out. He was a high-profile guy. He was 4 months there. Like Epstein, as part of his 51-month sentence for mortgage fraud. All right. There's no way that man could have killed himself. I've done too much time in those units. It's an impossibility. Between the floor and the ceiling is like 8 or 9 feet. There's no way to connect to anything. You have sheets, but they're paper level. Not strong enough. He was 200 pounds. It would never happen. When you're on suicide watch, they put you in this white smock, a straitjacket. They know a person cannot be injurious to themselves. Now, number one, it was said he was taken off suicide watch, which is absolutely insane in the first place. The clothing they give you is a jump-in uniform. Everything is a dark brown color. Could he have done it from the bed? No, sir. There's a steel frame, but you can't move it. There's no light fixture. There's no bars. They give you enough in there that you can successfully create an instrument of death. You want to write a letter? They give you a rubber pen and and maybe once a week a piece of paper. Nothing hard, made of metal. And there's a cop at the door at about every 9 minutes. It's 1 or 2, but I'll never believe this guy had a cellmate. He was too blown up. The damage that unit can do to someone. It's like you're an animal and you've been brought into a kennel. A guy like Jeffrey, it's like holy shit. I told my parents not to come there. God wasn't in the building. I've had some heavy incidents in the building. What happened is permanent. Some guards are on a major power trip. So again, corruption, the possibility of a beating, sodomy, these things are real. These are things I talked about early on with that first suicide attempt. But again, it's his firm belief that Jeffrey Epstein did not commit suicide. It just didn't happen. And this is a former inmate in that wing. Again, despite warning signs, USA Today is confirming. Why was he not on suicide watch? Exactly. Why not? Now, other people are saying he lived like a pig in a sty, ate his meals off the cell floor, and was being extorted by fellow inmates after the first suicide attempt, claims a report. This is on a Daily Beast report, by the way, guys. So again, you have one side of the spectrum with the Post reporting, no way, couldn't have done it. I was in that wing. There's no way he could have committed suicide. Daily Beast saying, live like a pig, etc., etc. Terrible conditions. And now we talk about that Clinton body count. And they explain the theories over at Vox. Just that Vox has to like spin the fact that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, and that's why earlier today, before Epstein was the number one tread in the world, it was Clinton body count. But again, guys, it's not about that. I mean, take a look at this. This is some of the documents yesterday that came out. And Ronaldo Rizzo, Tony Figueroa, Joanna Sojberg, Lynn Miller, they all were witnesses and really helped not only cover up these crimes, but facilitate them in large respect on various levels. And we read some of these documents yesterday, and they're abhorrent. Okay? And as we continue to do this, again, Barr is apparently livid. Well, again, I just can't buy into that, because why in the world wasn't he already under surveillance? And remember, Bill Richardson, ex-governor of Mexico, supposedly now an alleged pedophile, somebody in Epstein's network, somebody who was, again, Bohemian Grove member and speaker, 2008, Democratic nomination. He didn't get the nomination, but he was a candidate for president. So it's there. And we can only hope that now with all this, all the spotlight's going to go on Ghislaine Maxwell, her past, her intelligence connections, and the network surrounding them. Bonzilla63, thank you so much for that super chat. He says, thanks for all your work. I do appreciate that. And without that being said, guys, you know, it isn't easy spending time reading these documents, going through. So make sure that you are subscribed. You've joined the Burmese Brigade. You're sharing this on social media. You're thumbing it up. You're ringing the bell so you see it. But really just hit the star button. We're doing 3 to 7 videos a day on various topics other than this. Nexium, Bilderberg, transhumanism, and so much more. And on top of that, guys, we got a GoFundMe going. This is how I do it 7 days a week. And it's with your support. So $5, $10, $15, anything helps so much. And hopefully we're going to get to that $5,000 goal within the next week. If we don't, that's okay too, but we're trying. And we're trying to make this happen again and again. So guys, thank you once again. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you on the flip side.